Hey, how everybody doing out there? What's going on, boxing fans? We back here with another show. We're gonna talk about the Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz fight from last night. It was a great fight. Um, now I don't know about great fight. It was a good fight, and we're gonna talk about what we saw. We're gonna break down the entire card. We're gonna talk about the Aleem um, match and if he should get his shot at Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. We also gonna speak about the Zorro match last night. He was, some would call it an upset. I don't know. I have a problem calling fights upsets where guys get blown out in the ring, but we'll call it an upset just for talking purposes. So we're going to talk about that entire card. Isaac Cruz. We're going to talk about his knockout win. We're going to talk about Abner Mares. He had a majority draw. Joey Spencer. We probably talk a little bit about Charles Martin. Charles Martin came back last night. So we're going to definitely talk about Jose Villanueva losing to Edwin De Los Santos of Dominican Republic. We're going to speak in regards to Al Heyman giving the shot to these Dominican fighters that's been on a roll this year. 3 big wins in the last couple of months. And now that's going back, let's say 4 big wins because the Chris Colbert, Garcia beat Chris Colbert. So we're going to speak in regards to the entire show from Sunday night. It was a Sunday night special. So we're going to speak in regards to that as well. Just waiting. I got a few people that are going to be coming in, dropping by, going to speak and talk some boxing with me. I can't wait. I'm excited to talk about what I just saw. It was fake reports going on last night that it was going to be that they were going to speak in regards to the Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. So we'll probably talk about that fake report or just bad. It's like Steph like to say, clever to be up here. He said guys are just reaching. So it was a situation where guys was reaching on a story that didn't exist, that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence fight was going to get announced. So we'll talk about the fake reporting that be going on. We're in the era of fake news. So, I mean, get used to it. It's going to happen. And it did. So we'll speak in regards to that. So just waiting for some people to come through so we can go ahead and start. I can interact with someone. And I won't be doing this talking by myself. Also, it's been a great sports day. Rafael Nadal, what's going on, Cozy? I'm going to put the link in. Rafael Nadal was knocked out in tennis today by a brother from Maryland, Francis Tiafoe. Big win. In the tennis world. And, it's J Street Sports. So there come a time where I might start talking about another sport. Tonight is supposed to be about boxing, but that was some big news right there. So I'll go on and let Cozy jump on in if you want to. Supposed to have a little special guest joining me. Definitely from Boxing Playhouse, Sakura is going to come through tonight for a little while. Definitely, I love when, my hometown people, she from North Carolina, comes through. That's good. So we can definitely talk. Definitely. June,
What's going on?
how you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Actually, just getting home, man. You caught me from bringing my little son home from the court.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
must have great timing then.
man, you got great time because most of the time, man, I miss you and stuff like that. So I just so happened to got sit at the house, man. I looked on Twitter and I saw a DM, which I knew it from you because I ain't getting no DM. so I
Right.
said, so must was you, man. What's going on?
Ain't too much, man. I'm gonna talk about that show from last night.
Yeah,
Break down on the Villanueva fight. You know, the guy doing all that talking about Frank Martin and this guy and that guy, and he got blue eye in the ring. What's up, Ronnie Bravo? How you doing, sir? He got blue eye in that ring last night, so definitely gonna hit on him. And then we're gonna talk about the main event: Ortiz and Ruiz, and Deontay Wilder jumping in the ring after the fight. We're gonna talk about that. So we got a few things to jump on. But before I start that, brother, how's it looking down there in Jackson, man?
well, like I say, man, I always when I got out on my own, I moved to the outskirts of Jackson, like the
Right.
edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they work in Jackson. So like I said, but now we the move. We South Mississippi. We almost like I said in Louisiana on that coast area.
Right.
But from what I hear, man, it's rough, man. Like I say, from what I've heard from certain people,
Mm-hmm.
they still ain't got no water. Some saying they don't know when it's going. Some say that I've heard some say that when the water's being ran, it just pitch black, almost like when you change oil, man. And
Mm-hmm.
it's sad. It's really sad. But man, I'm not sure if you'd have heard of Jackson, Mississippi roads. Have you heard people talking about the
No,
roads?
I haven't, man. I haven't.
Man, they roads, man. It used to be people used to from Jackson used to make my memes, and they say on the meme, if you driving in a straight line on the road, you
Mm-hmm.
drunk. You drunk. If you doing like this on the road, you sober. Cause that's just how
Right.
bad, that's how messed up the roads is, man.
Yeah.
But Jackson is one of those places, man. It's the capital of Mississippi, man. That town right there, of course, people talk about Mississippi anyway, with it being the heart of the South. You know
Right.
what they say, but
Yeah.
that place should have so much more going for it, man. But the politics in Jackson, man, are just horrible, man. It's real horrible, man.
Checkmate. How you
And
doing, sir? How you doing, Check? I
check
guess
having
Check
audio
having,
problem.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
having them technical difficulties. But yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
But you know what? It's so crazy, man, that when you think of the last time Jackson, Mississippi was ran good, you got to either think about you're gonna either go to a time where a white man was the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
or either you're gonna go to a time where this cat named Frank Melton was the mayor, who was really cutthroat and a lot of people didn't like him, and he had some crooked ways himself. So, and that's sad to where if you think about the great times, the great
You gotta
times
think
in
about
that
somebody
place,
crooked.
or either white man and a
Oh, white
predominantly
man,
black.
yeah.
But it's man, I'm talking about it's horrible, man. That it's it's leading in one of the most crime area homicide in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
The law enforcement there are either crooked or so underpaid to where it's hard to get a good one there. I don't blame a good one from going there because he gonna be underpaid. So it's rough, man.
And how you doing, Checkmate? How you doing, sir? Okay, Check still having technical difficulties. Look,
Yeah, man.
for all the listeners out there, yes, we are talking boxing tonight, but we getting an update on Jackson, Mississippi, because them brothers and sisters are going through down there, man. And from looking at things the way Flint, Michigan happened, I mean, years have passed and everything ain't got right. So don't expect anything to happen anytime soon as far as them getting clean water. And I hate to say that because we living in America, but we have to be honest. And yeah, Ronnie Bravo said Rayo got to humble himself, settle in, and get turned around before he turned into Rolly. Well,
Well,
I'm glad. Yeah, go ahead, Junebug. I'll let you jump in on that. Go ahead.
well, here's the thing with that, man. And like I say, it's almost like the same thing we repeat after time. I'm not gonna say he got to humble himself. you can say that, but it's the people's circle, man. So many of these guys get blew up like a balloon so fast, man. To whereas, man, that it's hard for you to. It's almost like if I'm raising a child, right, and my child out here dominating these little church leagues, and baby, you the truth, baby. You know what I'm saying? You to put up 15 points on that little white boy. You the truth, and I shelter him like that, and now he playing some good talent. It's hard for a child to imagine humbling himself if he's been beat. You next, boy. You tough. You tough. You know what I'm saying? So when you say a boxer have to humble itself, I do understand that. But it's easier said than done when things been manufactured and that circle around him ain't honest, ain't real, and that matchmaking just been, cupcaking you along. That takes a lot to humble yourself when that's been the path laid out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we've seen this with boxers before. Edgar Berlanga. We've seen it with basketball players, especially college basketball, high school basketball players that dominated a league where everybody was 6'1" playing power forward and center. And then the first time they face a 6'11" guy or a 7-footer, that 6'8", 6'9" guy can't even get his shot off. So we've seen it before. And what's going on, Checkmate? I can hear you now, man. How you feeling, man?
Can y'all hear me now? Y'all can hear me good? All right.
Yes, sir.
I can hear you.
Good. You sounding like Barry
I
White.
just switched device.
Okay, because we said, hey, Checkmate, and you, all right, this is Checkmate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So you Barry White. We know we're gonna get a little limb out of you and Eddie Hearn later. So, but yeah, man, got
to ask Checkmate, man. I gotta ask Checkmate what he think about old Tank, man, because I ain't got nothing against Tank, but man, Tank looking kind of funny these days. Tank looking kind of, I don't know, man. You might be all talk, man. Why they moving you like that, Tank?
What's up, Check? You want to address him? Checkmate. Oh man, Checkmate went out. Checkmate, can you hear? Check having difficulties again, man.
Check trying to join the show in church again.
He came back in. Checkmate, you back in? Oh, he dropped back out. Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about Tank Davis because I don't know if you heard, but I got a guest that's gonna be coming on. Haven't been on before. Her name's Sakura. She with Boxing Playhouse. She from North Carolina, like myself. Okay. And and you probably seen her on a couple shows. She be up there sometimes with In the Ring with Christine. But we started talking about matchmaking. So that's the perfect conversation when we start talking about Tank Davis, because I just done got to the point where, bro, I can't take all this bad matchmaking no more, man. I like what Al Heyman did last night to Zio and even Joey Spencer a few months ago. I mean, a year ago. Hey, you ain't got to protect these guys. If they can fight, they'll make whoever you put them in with, they'll make them look ordinary. Or you'll find out that this guy ain't what he say he is. Just like the Zio situation, he got a chance. This was a real step up. This wasn't no past a prime fighter. This was a young fighter just like himself. They were evenly matched. This kid was only 13-1. It ain't like he took on some 26-1 hot shot. He took on a 13-1 guy that was coming off a loss. And he got beat up. You know what I'm saying? And I like that matchmaking because Zio should have had the advantages. Now that kid, they say he took it on a one. Boxing Playhouse. How you doing?
Doing all right. What's up, guys?
Ain't too much. Got Junebug. Listen, all right. I got my man Ronnie Bravo gonna join us too. Ronnie, we got Junebug. We got Sakura or Boxing Playhouse with you. So everybody, y'all can say hi to each other before we start getting into this info. What happened on last night?
What's up, Junebug? You know I got a cousin named Junebug too. It must be a North Carolina thing, right?
It's a southern thing. Look, everybody got a cousin named Junebug and an uncle named Willie Earl. It's a southern thing.
Yeah, I got one named Willie. Rest in peace, matter of fact. But yeah, Junebug definitely one of my favorite cousins. Georgetown fan, just like me, matter of fact. Not you, Junebug, because I know you ain't rooting for them Hoyas, and definitely not LeBron James.
Oh no, you'll catch me root for them Hoyas for LeBron.
But look, Secura is right down there with your people though, because he's a big Miami Heat fan. So just to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm about 3 hours away. I'm over in the Tampa Bay region, so it took me probably take me about 4 hours to get there.
Okay,
that's a fun place, man. Hey, that's a fun place. A little Tampa.
She did like Winky Wright. She done been down the Tampa area so long, they gonna think she from Tampa. Like they forgot Winky Wright from DC. He from Tampa now, St. Pete.
Okay, and you know the thing of it is St. Pete is actually where I live. So
okay, all right.
Sometimes you know it's kind of crazy how like you know as soon as he goes to Vegas and steps out, everybody knows him. But here at home, he's like, "Hey, what's up, Wink?" Like you know, it's like they know him, but they leave him alone for the most part. So
right.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. Well, look, let's jump right into the action last night. We're gonna discuss, the fights, and then we'll get to the main event. The first one, and this is the one that me and Secura had talked about a little bit last night because I had made a comment about cab drivers and Uber drivers, but I didn't mean it no disrespect to the actual fighters. Let me explain myself. I was explaining it because Al Haymon don't protect any of his prospects. If you've been watching, even if you go back 3-4 years ago, you look at a guy like Erickson Lubin, for example. Now we saw that Erickson Lubin got knocked out by Charlo, right?
Oh, but you went way back. Okay.
Yeah, we're going way back. But the thing about it is that in that fight he lost, he was only 20 or 21 years old. Like a lot of people forget, on the way up, he was 19 and 20 years old fighting fellow guys that were that was prospects just like him. How you doing, Ronnie? And so
yeah, what's up?
Ain't too much, man. I'm talking about prospects and the way they move because of the Zaro fight. So basically, he had a fight set to fight Jazeel Corrales, who's a former 130-pound champion, Secura. And Corrales fell out of the fight because he couldn't get a visa. But they had De Los Santos on standby for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I heard. And so when he fell out, he took the fight, came in the ring, and he knocked Zaro out in the 4th round, or the referee stopped it, but he had knocked him down in the fight. Now, I will say this. Villanueva was having his moments in this fight. Like, this wasn't just a whitewash. As a matter of fact, the end stats had him landing like 58 punches to like 20. And he lost by knockout and got knocked down a couple times. So it just goes to show that anything can happen in that ring. But I like the fact that it was just a matchmaking. So if y'all want to go ahead and jump on that fight, because that was a big deal, because he was calling out Frank Martin. He was calling out Tank Davis. He was calling out Isaac Cruz. He wanted to fight everybody. And yet he got knocked out last night. And also shout out to Dominican Republic. They will say that again.
I said I can imagine he still want to fight everybody, right?
Let me ask you something. Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think people really be wanting to fight everybody, or they know? Listen, I'm in a business where I got to make things sound good. You know what I'm saying?
He strikes me as the guy who wants that type of smoke, though. I don't see any clout with him.
wouldn't say
Yeah,
it's
I
clout.
think boxers really do want to fight everybody, especially when you think you're not going to get but a certain amount of purse until they get to a certain level of fighter. So they are just as anxious to get these big fights as we the fans want to see them in. And that's not the problem, it's mostly the problem is the teams that they be connected with as to whether
I'm
they're
glad.
ready for them to take on
I'm
these
glad
things.
you said that because
Yeah.
it's a person we want to ask you about that I think me and him was just talking about, but not to cut you off, let you finish spilling. But I'm glad you said that because that'll transition into another person. But go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel like, most of the times when people are like, oh, he's scared, or oh, he's running from them, or he's ducking this person. In actuality, the boxers are already getting in the ring every time they fight, even when they fight what some people call cab drivers, et cetera, that they, still don't have no fear. I don't think that is that at all. I think it's just more like the politics with boxing and the different people that's invested in these boxers' careers that are ready to see a return on their investment in full and then some.
Yeah, and just to speak about that, I understand, you definitely want to protect your investment. But boxing and sports in general, because basketball players, and boxers are a lot alike. Going to colleges, they position these kids now and secure. They hold them back in the 10th, 11th grade so they could come out of high school at the right moment and be this hot prospect, even though they older than everybody. So they do those things to position them, and the grown-ups do that to position those kids to make the biggest impact. And I see that in boxing. But the difference is in boxing, you have to fight someone before you can go up that level. And it looks like a lot of these guys fight a certain level, and then all of a sudden they just try to jump up into something.
So, like I said, I don't mean to cut you off, Ronnie Bravo. I'll let you go in just 1 second. But let me say this.
Nah, you good.
I halfway want to agree with you, but we live in a time now whereas people want to run away with that. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you think about it, like back, like it was a time where that wasn't true, where you can be 40 something and 2 or 3, and everybody still recognized you as being one of the baddest man, period.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we have that now. And like I say, it's such a dark time in boxing. I think a lot of boxers and the people that's invested in them scared for them to have that. Oh, and like you said, most of the most popular boxers in today's game, I think it's about 5 boxers out there that's popular or just up there at that certain level, and they really work, and they talent says that. But the other back half that's popular and things like that hadn't proved anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's say like Ryan Garcia, regardless of what people say, he's still one of the most popular boxers out there. And we still want him to get in the ring with somebody that just make us say, ooh, or things like that. It's a few of them. Like I say, my boy Tank. Like I said, I was big on Tank, but I am getting frustrated now. Like Tank, I don't want you to fight Lee John Smith next. Now, come on, now you got some old folks out there, so
You got to fight a certified. Yeah,
exactly. But like I said, I let
Tank
Ronnie
said
Bravo.
he was getting frustrated too.
I believe it.
Tank can't be
To a certain
frustrated
degree.
Tank can't. Let me tell you something. I said, Tank, you lie. You can't be frustrated when you put yourself in that same situation. Tank, you were just free to be able to do what you want to do about 3-4 months ago.
That's
so, Tank,
true.
You can't be frustrated now. Don't
That's
give
true.
me that now, because you know what this person about. So don't tell
That's
me you
true.
frustrated.
That's true.
Like me. That's like me complaining about a woman I've been married to for 15 years. I'm so sick of her, and every year I renew my vows. So no.
Yeah, you make a great point.
Maybe she offered you a different package this time around. Maybe she said you can have 5 cooked meals this week instead of 3.
But how many times? But how many times I'm gonna fall for it? And after year 3, I was like, "Nah, she ain't gonna do it."
That's a good analogy, because I was about to say it's like that lady that's complaining about that boyfriend, and then he get locked up and go to jail, and then she wait for him to get out, and then she say, "I'm so sick of him," and he was just in prison. So
she gonna get him out.
She gonna get him out, right? Exactly. So, Ronnie, what you think about Zaro fight from last night and his career moving forward?
It kind of hurt me last night to see him lose the way he did because I'm a
Mhm.
big Rayo fan. I was
Mhm.
actually rooting for him. I think he'll be okay. It's definitely not the end. When you get your O, that is definitely not the people say, well, your career trajectory has changed. No, it hasn't. You still got good fights. You still can learn from this.
Facts.
How many losses did Manny Pacquiao take early in his career, and when he turned into
At
what he
least
was?
2 or 3.
Yeah, he
Yes.
had like 3 losses before he
Mhm.
entered America. So I
Mhm.
mean,
Not
you can definitely.
unconscious in one of them.
Exactly. So you
Mhm.
can definitely turn your career around. The only problem is that these guys grew up on, like we grew up on Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran. These guys grew up on Floyd Mayweather. So they're going to accentuate that O as pretty much as the most powerful thing that your bargaining chip in boxing. And
Yeah.
they're not going to go out there and risk it. So Tank can say whatever he wants. I definitely do not believe him because when a fighter wants to leave, he gonna go. And he ain't going. He has not. I mean, that whole press tour with Rolly, he was talking about, F Floyd Mayweather. I'm my own man. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. Then after the fight, he's smiling at the camera saying it's still Mayweather promotion. So I don't want to hear anything about Tank Davis getting tired of competition.
Amen.
And let me say something too, Ronnie Bravo. These guys didn't pattern themselves behind Mayweather career. They patterned themselves around Money Mayweather.
Exactly.
Because
Not
Pretty Boy
Floyd.
Floyd
Yeah.
fought every top contender and champion from 30 to 40 that was black, Hispanic, Mexican, African. He fought everybody. He fought top guys and even the lower level guys like Emmanuel Augustus could fight. So what these guys are doing, in my opinion, is Al Heyman is so great, right? He was great in the music business. You know what I'm saying? When he was doing all them shows, Aretha Franklin, Guy, that's one of Junebug guys right there. Guy, you love that group, don't you? How about a Secure?
No,
I did too. They was
I'm
talking
over
about
mint
him.
condition.
Mid condition, all them,
Hey.
Teddy Riley, but they were talking about Al Heyman and how he made life so easy for them while they was on the road doing all those concerts and shows. He doing the exact same thing in boxing. He give guys an opportunity to hide because they'll hide behind the business because what we know one thing about Al Heyman, he ain't doing no interviews. So they could get up there and say anything in the world. Oh, we can't make the fight because of da 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 da. Al Heyman ain't gonna say anything. So I think that it's a lot of hiding behind because you're right, Ronnie. You're right, Junebug. If Tank Davis want these fights, he could have left. But even if he don't leave, he can go to Al Heyman and say, "Hey, I demand this fight. I demand this fight," and it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Secure.
Well, I mean, I'm just interested to see this next fight that's going to be in December. I mean, if it's who he said he wanted, then we'll see where there may be some changes in different management teams with him.
Who did Tank say he want in
He
December?
won't. That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
Who
he said he
He
want.
says he wants the Ryan Garcia fight. He says he
Lord.
wants that. So let's see if that even happens. So,
Yeah.
listen, let's see what happens. But check this out.
Yes,
When you
go
guys
ahead.
start talking about these records with guys wanting O's and different things like
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
I would just basically I'll tell somebody to go to BoxRec. I'll be like, hey, check this boxer out. He's doing some things. He looks good and this and that. And then they'll go to his record. They might be like, oh, well, he got 3 losses. I'm like, and
And what? Right.
Right, because these are stepping stones. You don't always learn the most from wins. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like sometimes you learning a whole lot more when you lose. But I mean, that's the way of the culture right now. Is like they believe
That's right.
as well that this matters when it's not as much. It's not as much about that. It's more as what the competition is, who's the names that's listed.
Facts.
What point in people's career did a loss happen? For the gents the last night. Apparently he's only 23. So, you know, he has a way. He got time to recover and everything, just like Ronnie was saying. I mean, what's the big deal? At least he now don't have that pressure to be worrying about an O. You know, now it's you going in there and you're concentrating on other things besides, damn, I really can't lose this O. So I think that's a big thing with boxing culture in general right now. It's like they're more concerned with that zero.
And it's the ego.
Yeah,
it's the ego too.
A lot of it is.
It's part of, I mean, of course, it always is better if you really legitimately got O's. You got an O, you know. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, it's something to be proud of when you do keep it and you're actually fighting, you know, the level of competition you should be. Like, you know, some guys they are fighting people less than what they are, competitively speaking, talent and skill wise, and wanting us all to jump up and, you know, spasm out anytime they have a win. And you're like, I can't get impressed with that. But other guys, you know, they had the hard way, like where every fight is freaking a nightmare type scenario, and they still don't have that status that some of the other more protected and more valued boxers have. And people, they'll look at a record and maybe they do see a two losses or 3 losses, and they're like, oh, this dude ain't nothing, you know, but they don't realize, like, you know, levels. The only thing I can say, as far as you guys were talking, Jay, you have to find you a different word, honey. You cannot keep going around here calling these people cab drivers and Uber drivers and etc. when they get in the ring and sacrifice a whole damn lot.
Let me say something. Let me put it in context.
You know, some people don't even like the word B-sider. They don't even like that.
Well, let me put it in context.
Like hold on a second. I like B-side better than I like calling people cab drivers that sacrifice and never know if they're gonna get out of the ring. So you gotta come up with something else, dude. Gotcha.
All right, now let me put it in context because it's a context, and I'm gonna get on to the point that you made because you said this, so I gotta address it. First of all, I didn't call any fighter in particular. I didn't name anyone, and I said cab drivers.
Oh my God! Just stop, because you
but
forgot.
But I will not call nobody a cab driver.
No, Jay. You forget you had me listening to your podcast last weekend, so I heard.
I called somebody a cab driver last week.
You heard this too. Yeah, I was talking about the top rank card, and you was talking about.
Yeah. That's where it came from. Okay, you're right. Thank you for calling me out.
And then
I'm gonna edit this part.
Al Heyman doesn't do blah blah blah, which apparently means okay. So the other promoters do. So you're not gonna play me like that now. Let's go ahead, own up to it. What you did, what you said.
I shouldn't call a fighter a cab driver. I will admit that, and because I don't like name calling. But I will say this, and I meant it in a sense of top ranked matchmaking as a whole. And they have been considered the greatest matchmakers. You've heard me on this podcast or what have you show. I have admitted through the years they have been the greatest matchmakers from getting a fighter from day one to the world championship. They have been the best. But here lately, they have been lining guys up. And that particular card, I think, agitated me. And I shouldn't have said it, but I'm more under control today. that card, securing. I gotta be honest. I watched the entire card from the fights that was on the ESPN Plus to all the way through the TV part, and I was disgusted because it ain't the kid fault. It's not the kid fault if Junebug go and put his son that's 12 years old playing basketball, and he go put him in with the top players in the nation, and they embarrass his son. It's not the son's fault because he had, this was an opportunity and all that good stuff. But I just want to see more competitive fights. And listen, Al Heyman had put on some bad fights before. That he had a guy walk out in the ring. Okay, I can call it on everybody. He had a guy get in the ring, turn around, and walk his butt out of there. So that's a smear on PBC because that happened on national TV.
Was like,
but I'm gonna say,
can't be enough for this.
Right. Protest.
Too vicious.
Yeah, it was a protest, but it was an embarrassment. You know.
But I'm gonna say this, and I do get what you're saying, Sandra. The respect of these fighters, because they said they can't get in the ring and lose their life. So I do respect, you know, saying that. I understand their respect from you. I do, and I feel you on that. You're right about that. But when you in Showtime Sports, when you in business and stuff like these athletes are, that comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if I play basketball, and it's almost like sometimes we call a guy that's playing in the NBA a scrub. Well, he's still one of the best basketball players in the world. But that comes with the territory. And let's be honest with you. Some of these guys, until they get those big fights and be a top dog or big fish and stuff like that, they may be cab drivers until they get that big fight. So I'm
going to give you a great example. I'm going to cut y'all off for 1 second. I'm going to give y'all a great example of a guy that was considered a cab driver that went on and won world titles. Freddie Pendleton. Now, he was a lightweight champion. He lost 4 out of his first 6 fights. End up fighting Pernell Whitaker, and Pernell Whitaker at lightweight said this was his hardest and toughest lightweight fight. He won the world title, Freddie Pendleton, but he started off his career 2-6 or 2-5. You know, I seen Jose Luis Castillo give Floyd Mayweather his toughest fight. He had 3 or 4 losses up until that point, but he was the world champion at lightweight. He was only known as a sparring partner for Julio Cesar Chavez. Floyd Mayweather is considered the greatest fighter of our era outside of Roy Jones. Am I right?
Correct.
This guy, a great sparring partner, not only did he give Floyd Mayweather his toughest fight, but he fought his way to the Hall of Fame, Jose Luis Castillo. So to me, also criticism comes with the game. But I agree that you don't have to call names. And I had said that I wouldn't do that. Before I even started, I said I wouldn't do it, and I got caught up in it. But I will say this, I'm going to criticize, but I'm going to leave the names out. Well, but I'm telling you, we got to get the matchmaking has to get better. Top Rank, the stuff that they're doing, even last week, they threw a main event, Pedraza and Richard Commey. Now, Sakura, 2 former world champions, right?
Now you wait a minute. You ain't even gave us time to rebut what you said.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know you was rebutting. Go ahead, rebut.
My goodness. I'm not even speaking for myself. Junebug was talking.
Oh, you was gonna rebut me, Junebug? Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna tell you. You know, you bag yourself up. You know, you got the young lady on there. You're a Southern gentleman, and you kind of want to bow down. But like Magic said in the thing, you better get her, Jay. You better get her, Jay.
I am.
You can call these folks calves.
I'm being nice, but yeah.
That's what I was gonna say about Top Rank. They are known for better matchmaking than what it appeared that night. But we have to remember that these Olympians, they are still untested in the professionals. They got low count numbers right now. And the people they put them in there, also, some of them had more fights than the person they was fighting. I mean, than the Olympian. And then we also have to remember that in past years, Top Rank has signed a lot of like Olympian talent, but a lot fizzles out. You're not left with a lot. So while you're saying that, I just felt like usually we don't see it that way because they're not all stacked on the same card, getting TV time. But I mean, I just say Olympians, even though they are Olympians, they still, when they go professional, they still 0-0. Like you can't put them in there with a 10-0 guy even.
But that's what they did with Lomachenko.
The boxing
I will say this too.
The boxing commission is not going to allow you to put them in there with someone with a way bigger record than they have. They just not. So they were fighting people. When you look at the records, they had even fights, so they had more. The opponents had more fights. So
And I would
that's
say
the problem when you got them Olympians.
And I would say this too. Now, I will give Top Rank credit for this. Like I said, if you're looking at like a draft or free agent, like in any other sports, over the last 2 to 3 years, Top Rank have been signing the better talent. Even from what's his name? That's with Bomac now, the young fat cat that's on the tip of my tongue.
Keyshawn,
Keyshawn.
Oh,
No, Keyshawn. Then
the
you go
Davis
to
brothers.
the Davis brothers. So Top Rank has been signing some of the better talent, up and coming talent over the last 2 to 3 years. So, and when they signing that talent like that, and those, I think those guys are legit. The matchmaking does seem kind of odd with them because their talent level is so high. So Top Rank has been doing a good job at bringing in a good crop of younger guys, which has always been Top Rank thing. Top Rank just ain't never been able to keep them. But Top Rank has always been able to bring in the top talent, and then they get frustrated and end up over there with Al and stuff like that.
That's how I always end up.
But Top Rank has always done a good job and still doing a good job at signing the top roster. Because, like I said, I don't think Al, not like Al, like PBC, but I don't think PBC honestly have no more than maybe 3 guys we're going to look forward to seeing fight maybe the next 5 to 6 years. Besides that, everybody is over there on Top Rank side, so they cards can look kind of funny if you got Keyshawn over there, and you don't know if he's good or not because the Top Rank matchmaking is so good. But you know, what I'm saying, he is signing, you know, some pretty good guys and stuff over there, you know. So
well,
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Junebug, a lot of it, I agree with you in terms of like the lack of depth of talent for PBC, but a lot of it is they do it to themselves because they so hell bent on putting on pay-per-views. I've gotten so used to the Zone app. I've gotten so used to, you know, ESPN Plus, seeing these fighters. You know, I pay my subscription and I'm able to see these young fighters blossom. But when you go to the PBC, okay, everything's $79.99 for a card that shouldn't be $79.99. So a lot of people are hesitant to actually watch these guys.
Let me read from the chat real fast. Cozy said Top Rank only gonna have 3 or 4 guys when it's all said and done. The matchmaking is working miracles right now. And he said he got talent. This most definitely not the end, like Ronnie say. I think he talking about Zayo. He said nothing but mismatches. Talking about the Top Rank card is what he was talking about. Cozy.
And I agree with Ronnie Brown. I agree with Ronnie Brown because to me last night that wasn't a pay-per-view card. I mean, Ortiz and it was a good fight, but that
Fox card.
That shouldn't have been on pay-per-view itself. Yeah. So like I said, I definitely agree with you on that.
How we gonna watch these young fighters if you trying to give them pay top dollar for them?
Well, let me get in there. They did have some fights on Fox. Okay, Joey Spencer fought on Fox, and Aleem fought on Fox Sports 1 before the pay-per-view actually started. And let's talk about Aleem. Aleem went in there and dominated the Filipino fighter Pinata, who was 26-1, and Aleem beat him up last night. And I'm gonna advocate for Aleem to fight Cool Boy Steph. I think it's beyond time for that fight. Danny Roman has gotten his opportunity. Figueroa has gotten his opportunity. It is time for Aleem. Aleem is a real threat to Cool Boy Steph. A real threat. What y'all guys think? What you saw the fight? Ronnie, you can start off.
Hold on, I gotta start right quick. Go ahead and start with somebody else. I'll come back to it.
Okay, Sakura, you want to talk about Aleem? Rashay Aleem.
Yeah, I liked him. Well, I've liked him in previous fights as well. You know, the jury's still out for me. I like Aleem. I don't know. I know that now Cool Boy is definitely tried, stamped, and delivered. You know, like there's no question that he's fought the best of that division. Like that's one of those divisions, like the lightweights and the junior middleweights. That
solid division.
Yeah, everybody is fighting each other. They all the best is fighting the best. So it's like I do feel like he's already tried and he's tested. But Aleem, I gotta see a level up again. You know, I want to see him fighting some of these names that you just mentioned. Cool Boy has already fought.
No,
more people.
Secure, I'm gonna disagree. No,
Yeah.
my statement though.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Statement? Y'all
Yes,
gonna
you
stop
can.
cutting me off now? Because you gonna stop. That's what you not gonna do. Treat me just like you treat the men. Give me some respect now. So I see it like I like to see him fight a Brandon Figueroa. You know, somebody that gave a different look or gave Cool Boy a rough fight. Like I want to see him what he looked like with that same type of pressure, a litmus test type of situation. Plus, on top of that, he need to marinate with the name a little bit more. The name is, you know, we need to get some more people knowing his name, and a Brandon fight would do that for him. So I other than that, I have no problems with seeing him after a fight like that. I wouldn't mind seeing him against a Cool Boy Steph, but you know how it works. Once somebody get to your level, then they start, you know, they'll go up a division or like they ain't gonna stick around and wait for you because you want to fight them, right? So we just have to see if it would be at that same super featherweight. Is it super featherweight or featherweight? Featherweight.
Bantamweight.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see if it's gonna, you know, work out. So we'll see.
My only thing with that is, like, say, normally I would, like I said, I'm not just trying to disagree with you and be on JT. We ain't trying to jump on you, miss. We not, but I would normally would agree with you. But the reason why I disagree with you on is because Aleem is on different time. He's 32. So if he had a little bit more youth on this side, I can say he could go ahead and take them fights. But if he don't take those fights, if he takes 2 more fights before getting hold to Cool Boy Steph, we talking about him fighting him at age 34. You know what I'm saying? So he's not on that type of time.
What's wrong with 34? I mean, this ain't the 50s. People look good and they still in top shape. But I said one more fight, actually. That's what I said. But I mean, yeah, fine. If you want to blame it on, I mean, if you want to put people ages in it, fine.
But you know,
I mean,
at 34 in boxing, but once you get at the age 34, people start to try to say, hey, he's almost old. And a lot of, believe it or not, promoters don't want their best fighter or a good fighter. You know, that I think that'll hurt PBC if, let's just say, Aleem does be 33, beat Cool Boy Steph. Because promoters like to be in it for the long haul. They like those young guys with talent that they can build off for 6 to 7 years. A promoter probably, that'll be the worst thing for PBC if Aleem do beat Cool Boy Steph, right? And he's pushing 34 years old. And the next 2 or 3 fights, he loses and stuff like that. They're going to be like, man, I can't build around a 34-year-old fighter for the long haul. So that's my thing on it.
Well, the reason that I want to see Aleem get that chance now is because Luis Neri has moved up to 26. Figueroa has moved up to 26. When he beat Castro, it was for him to be the mandatory for Ray Vargas up at 126. Cool Boy Steph walks around at 150 pounds. So he making 122. And he's trying to get this fight with MJ, got the other 2 titles. That fight isn't going to be made. And the other thing, Ronnie, Secure, Junebug, Aleem has been the mandatory for almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
And he fought, if I'm not mistaken, he fought an eliminator. Then he fought a final eliminator. And then he took this fight with this guy that was 25-1 that had won his last fight on PBC. So he's had these 3 tough fights that I get what you're saying, Security. You want to see him against a name, but the names have moved up to 26. And the only thing left between him and Cool Boy is MJ that got the other 2 titles, but he fights on DAZN. And we know what that means. If you fight on DAZN and you fight on PBC, if it ain't no heavyweight fight, they'll say ain't no money in it. It ain't going to happen. Anyway, is the only
classes. You know, once you get down past under 130, it's definitely not like the money.
And that's where I'm going. And also too, I saw you had Smoke Gainer. I love that show. But the one thing, the reason I'm gonna bring up Smoke Gainer is is because Smoke fought everybody from 26 up to 30. 22, 26, 30, 35. Any top fight that he saw, he jumped in. He might fought Kevin Kelly, then he jumped in with Diego Corrales. He fought this guy, then he jumped in with that guy. He fought Manuel Medina, then fought Juan Manuel Marquez. Well, Aleem, the only way for Aleem to do that is to move up, because Cool Boy Steph, to me, and Aleem are the last two guys that are left. And also, on top of that, I want to see black fighters give other black fighters a shot at the title. And the reason
since you broke it down like that, I don't think it's gonna happen.
It might not. I agree.
Not at that weight. No way.
It may not happen.
He can always fight Angelo Leo. That'll be a good one.
He beat Angelo Leo, didn't he?
No, that
Cool Boy Steph beat Leo. Cool Boy Steph beat Leo. That's right. But the thing is like Mike Tyson said. Mike Tyson said this on his podcast about a couple months ago, and he was actually talking to Charlo, and he told Charlo that y'all black fighters have to make a pact to fight one another. No, he told Tank Davis, y'all black fighters have to make a pact to fight one another. He said that that's the way that the guys did it in his era, and that's the way they did it in the era before. He said, don't let promoters or anybody stand in the way. He said, if you love me as your brother, and if you call me your friend, wouldn't you help your friend? The way to help me is to give me this fight so I can feed my family. And I think that Cool Boy Steph, he fought Danny Roman in a fight that Danny Roman, to me, looked on his way down, and Cool Boy Steph finished him off and ended his career. Roman retired. I think it's time to give Aleem a fight or move up and let Aleem fight for the belts himself. I mean, because at this point, even though Steph is talented, probably more talented than Aleem, I feel that you holding his career up and you doing this to someone, a fellow brother. And that's, my opinion on that.
I think they're trying to give him more airtime, so that people can see him, so they can justify that as far as money, as far as marketing is concerned. So that's why I'm saying that's probably why, if you're saying like everybody's moved up except for Cool Boy and MJ, then I don't see it happening, because I don't think that's his next fight, and I believe that. And then Fulton's gonna be moved up too, along with the rest of the pack. So,
but Inoue is there, so he gonna have a chance. If Aleem stick around, you're right. He could end up getting, from a boxing standpoint, a bigger fight in Inoue, because Inoue has already said this is his last fight at 118. So we know we got some fresh blood coming up to 122, and a guy that, whether we agree with it or not, is ranked in all the pound for pound lists. So if Aleem stick around, he could fall into a face.
But you know how this.
He couldn't ride that. He was like that face was like,
Go ahead, Roddy.
You know how this goes, though. Anyway, in the division, he's going to immediately get his title shot and overstep that of Aleem. And then he's not going to fight Aleem.
Fight him.
That's just how that's going to go. I see it how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
that's who's going to be fighting the cab driver.
Yeah.
Julie, you might even get a fight with anyway.
Hey, bring it on. I need to go to Japan and get me a 6-figure payday.
Trust me.
Let's go.
He's fought nothing but Godzilla extras in the last Godzilla movie. He ain't fought nobody. But don't even get me started on.
And he fought an old Daenerys that I really didn't like, because the last fight he made Daenerys look kind of, and I was sick about it, but at the same time, that wasn't Daenerys that I saw.
That ain't Daenerys 10 years ago. Yeah,
exactly.
Daenerys 10 years ago
that wasn't even Daenerys one fight ago. I was like, what did he act like he had just been told he lost his best friend on the walkout. Yeah. I was like, oh shit. Like, as soon as I saw his face, I was like,
I stayed up and watched
they either told him he gotta throw this fight or something. I don't know, but it was not a good look.
Yeah,
I
it
stayed
was
and
a
watched that fight, and I was hollering at Daenerys' wife. I was like on Rocket, throw the damn towel. I ain't like that at all. I was kind of mad at that
yeah.
one.
5 years,
But,
5 years too soon. If he would have fought him 10 years ago, I think that would have had a different outcome. But,
yeah.
hey, that's what
Well,
happened.
well, you know, man, I can tell you this too. And Steph, I dropped the link. If you want to join in, go ahead.
He may not be able to join in because I remember one time I tried to join in, and once I think
Yeah, I might have reached my limit of people. I'm not for sure. Cause last time it allowed 5, so
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
can dip
We'll
out if
see.
you need. That's no
Well,
problem.
I only have 5
Yeah.
more minutes, gentlemen. So
Yeah.
tell him to come
Drop
in 5 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Drop
Okay.
your-
Wait
drop your
5
links
minutes,
and things.
Steph.
I got
Drop-
dinner. I gotta
All right.
cook.
Okay.
Drop your
What you
links
cooking
and stuff
tonight?
like that so I can follow you.
What you cooking tonight? Since you
I
talking
don't
about
know.
cooking,
I don't know exactly what it is. It's hamburger defrosting. So that's all I can tell you. This
Good
is-
old North Carolina meal.
That's right.
she
It's
finna-
about to be on. It's about to be
she
an
finna throw that-
NC type of day.
She
Yes,
can throw that
yeah.
hamburger helper in there. She can throw that hamburger helper in there.
Damn. People still eat that?
I do.
Yeah.
That stroganoff hit
We-
different.
The
Hey, we
stroganoff
talking-
and cheeseburger macaroni. But look, let's jump in. All right, I want to hear your view on the Andy Ruiz and Ortiz fight from last night. Go ahead, Sakura.
Hey, well, I got Dahlia. She just called in for me, Dahlia Duran. So y'all say what's up.
Hey, Miss Duran, how you doing?
What you doing?
I'm gonna call you back.
And tell her to drop her links and stuff like that so I can follow Julie's and stuff like
Okay,
that. on her platform.
Sakura,
Okay,
drop
what-
your link in the chat so that they can follow. Everyone can follow you and watch your show.
Okay, sure. Thank you, guys. No, what I was gonna say about it was just crazy to me because without those knockdowns, King Kong wins that fight. King
Yep.
Kong outboxed him, but every time he got touched, he was down. And the thing that got me about it was that was a great opportunity for Ruiz to finish King Kong when he had him hurt several times, and it never transpired. Because the next rounds he was coasting. Like he just was like, okay, I just got enough knockdown. So that gives me 2 more rounds. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
but
Yeah.
I was rooting for my Cuban Ortiz because I do know he normally has that knockout power, but I had forgot about them Mexican chins, okay? They can take a lot of abuse. And Ruiz proved that he's no different. But like what I did like about Ruiz that I saw is just the quickness. I mean, it was just like once he decided to let his hands go. I mean, the quickness that he has and that nice sharp jab is something that's going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems. But he got to learn how to, continue it through rounds. Like he's fighting in spurts. I don't like that,
Well,
I need.
let me add this in. Why Ortiz didn't do much? I know heavyweights don't like going to the body, but I mean, Andy Ruiz's body is almost like calling you to him. You know what I'm saying? Hit me. Why not? Because I think the first heavyweight that really do some damage to his body is gonna stop Andy Ruiz. He looked like he ready to quit in a fight.
That's
I mean,
that's
he
why I'm
looks so
hoping we
good
get
at
wild.
weigh-in too, right?
Yeah.
He look good at weigh-in.
Yeah, when they did the weigh-ins, he
He looked worse at the fight than he did the weigh-in.
When he rehydrated, it
Yeah.
went
Well,
all back to the gut.
You know Andy Ruiz eat them by about 3 large pieces and stuff like that before a fight. Now come on, now you know that he been known to kill some little Caesars before a fight now.
But
Yeah.
he fight better fat.
Don't
though.
forget
That's
them
the thing.
Snickers bars he was going with.
Oh,
you
he
know.
loved them Snickers too. That's
Yeah.
Hey, hold up. Shout out Andy Ruiz. I love my Snicker bars. Hey, Sakura, look, I know you're gonna be getting off in 1 or 2 minutes. Your friend, what's his name? To be on the show with you.
That's my fiance.
Your fiance. Okay, your boyfriend, fiance.
Emilio Santana. Yeah.
Emilio Santana. Look, I like to see him. He a cool guy with them shades on, man. I be looking, look, I'm a fan, all right? You about to get off, so I'm going to give you your praise real fast. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of Emilio too, man. And, you know, so y'all definitely, you know, you welcome to the show anytime that you want to. You can come on up here and look, and come on up here and act like you from Kinston and control some stuff. You come on in.
It's still there. It's still in there.
Yeah,
It's
that's
on.
right. Shout
Got a whole
out
bunch
to
of North
Jerry
Carolinians
Stackhouse
on the panel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
shout
gotta
out
have
to
Jerry Stackhouse. The
shout out to
basketball.
Jerry Stackhouse, man.
It's a whole lot more of them now, man.
Yeah,
But a whole new
Brandon.
generation.
What's his name? Play with the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram.
Ingram.
Brandon Ingram. Yeah.
Before him, it was before there was even Jerry Stackhouse. There was the Shackelfords.
Charles Shackelford.
Yeah, they all
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Charles.
Rest in peace. So
yeah,
I just feel like I had a great time, you know, and I could only be like this, totally relaxed and showing my natural, you know, control freak issues with my fellow North Carolina people. So I thank you for inviting me to the show. But next time you have to give me at least 3 days notice, because you know I be like chilling and you know certain things, you know, women can't just come on looking crazy because you know people got a lot to say and the worst critiques is other women, you know.
Oh well, hey, look, it ain't too many women that. It's a couple women that come on the show, and you know one of them, Nika.
You better have that Nika mentality. Nika,
yeah, cat come up here,
and she be ready.
Yeah, she be ready.
We drink on our show, but you know, we got the gold goblet, you know, the gold chalice that we drink out of. But I mean, I just sometimes I got to be right because I knew he was gonna try to come for me when it came to the cab driver and taxi situation. So
hey,
I had to make sure I had my P's and Q's about me.
Hey, look, Top Rank pulled that out of me because I won't gonna call no names. Top Rank pulled it out of me with all them mismatches. But look, I appreciate you coming through, man. And hopefully, like I say, I'm gonna follow. Tell everybody, you know, your Twitter page, your YouTube page, so they can follow you. Because you made some fans up here.
Yeah, sure. Well, Twitter is LeBrown Eyes, but Eyes is IS at the end. So then I got Boxing Playhouse, and that's on every one of the platforms. And then you can find me, my personal page on Facebook as Sakura Armstrong, like the original. And then on IG, my personal name is Sakura_A_BPH for Boxing Playhouse. And I'll be looking up the rest of you gentlemen as well and getting connected too. So I appreciate everything from you guys today.
All right. And you take care. Thank you for dropping by.
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to be better next time, I promise.
Go ahead and throw that hamburger helper down.
Okay, we ain't going to do no hamburger helper now. It's either going to be some spaghetti or some good old-fashioned hamburger and rice.
That's
I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
Come with it. Hamburger and rice, white rice. Mm-hmm. But I had spaghetti tonight. But all right, you take care.
All right. Peace, guys.
All right. Tell Emilio that I asked about him, all right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. All right, guys. Now let's get back to that fight with Andy Ruiz. Why did Luis Ortiz? I know his age showed last night. I'm still not sure he only 43. I think that he's about 48.
In his 50s.
Being honest. Why he didn't target Andy Ruiz's body last night?
Oh man, me personally, I think that's an easy question to ask. But when you in that line of fire like that, I honestly think Andy Ruiz's quick hands stopped him from targeting that body, man. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz, hands are quick, even though he got short limbs, but hands are quick and stuff like that. And I think Ruiz was like, well, if I target the body or try to do something different, he's gonna catch me, he's gonna counter me and things like that. And I think he would have been absolutely correct that if he would have targeted that body, I think he'd have got countered all night and he probably would have helped Ruiz get him out of there. I just think OE's just hand speed and stuff like that and agility. As fat as he is, well, I don't mean to call him fat, but as big as he is, he has awesome hand speed, man, and stuff like that. So I think it was easier said than done, man. You know what I'm saying? For that's my take on it.
All right, what you saw there, Ronnie Bravo?
I agree with that. The hand speed is too extraordinary for Ortiz to actually try to think about targeting the body and getting his right punch placement. Also, Andy Ruiz gets in there, he shoots in there very quickly. So because he has short arms and short stubby arms, he likes to fight in the inside, and it's hard to target the body when you got a guy smothering you. So and throwing those short loopy combinations that are blistering fast. So a lot of that deters any type of body work, especially in the clinch, because Andy Ruiz is extremely strong when he gets in the clinch, and if he hits you in the back of the, like if he does a little dirty boxing and hits you in the back of the head, that can probably be your night. So this is a kind of a mixture of both the speed and also the how quick Andy Ruiz gets inside.
And you brought up a good point too. Is I think a lot of people don't realize. I mean, when you look at him, and don't get me wrong, I think Ruiz is strong. I mean, Ortiz is strong, but I think people underestimate how strong Andy is too. I think he's a lot stronger than a lot of people imagine. So I think he does wear people down, and you can tell the way when he fought AJ.
Yes,
that he has more strength than the eyes may show, and so I think that was part of it too, as well, as far as that strength to allow him to be able to be. I wouldn't be surprised that he's probably more physically stronger than Ortiz at this point, with being old age and quick. So I think it was just a point of where him just being a little bit more outmatched. And sometimes as boxers, Ortiz, we just said Ortiz is probably older than we think. But sometimes, man, I've heard boxers say this: you can go and you can fight a guy, and that fight can be so much to you that even you boxing after that fight, you're never the same. And let's be honest with you, after Wilder, I think that Ruiz is just not the same, and it ain't got nothing to do with age. It's just got something to do with after that war. And this is the same thing that I have the opinion about Earl and Crawford. I think if they fight one or two times, each one of them going to go on to fight again, but they won't be the same. I think it's going to be a part of those guys left in that fight, because when you fight certain type of competitions, or that dog, he takes something from you. And I think that's the only thing that happened to
Ortiz. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that something's going to be gone from Wilder after them 3 Fury fights?
I absolutely do.
I
absolutely do.
I just think he beats all the other weights.
You know what? I do agree, but for some reason, I don't know. And I would love to be wrong. But like I said, I think, like I say, Andy Ruiz got a tough chin. But for some reason, from what I've seen, how he struggles with somebody that can box and quick, and I think somebody that can just keep Wilder at bay. For some reason, I have Frank Sanchez beating Wilder. I know some people gonna be like, "What?" But for some reason, in my heart, I really feel like Frank Sanchez will get him. I just feel like that. I feel like Frank Sanchez with being quick and keeping that jab that pop in and out, it's gonna negate that 1-2 that Wilder got, because Wilder lines that up. I mean, you can almost he telegraphs it so too much. He plants with that left foot, and then he shoots with that left hand, and boom. I think Frank Sanchez be able to negate that. So,
well, the only thing about that is, by the time Frank Sanchez becomes a player, Wilder be out of the game by then. So I don't think we'll ever really get to see that.
You think so? Because and the reason why I say that, because after, like, you think about it now, you got Andy Ruiz now. You have let's see what they do with AJ. I ain't confident in that fight at all.
Nah.
Like I say, and whatchamacallit can't even come over here to the US.
Right.
Fury, he can't come over to the US.
Can't come back.
Big Baby.
Right.
You have Big Baby at top rank and stuff like that. after those names there, what could Wilder go to after he gets through with Helenius? You know what I'm saying? He got to get through with somebody after Helenius, and I don't want to see him fight nobody. Those are the people that you got to be able to. Maybe somebody may throw in a name like Joyce, maybe.
That's a tough fight for anybody.
Yeah.
But after that, those names are the ones that's gonna circulate with him.
I just feel like he has 2 or 3 fights left, and then he's gonna really call it a career. I just don't think Sanchez will be one of those guys he picked for the goal.
Exactly. So after that, like I said, if he has 2 more fights and after Helenius, it won't be AJ.
No.
Right. It won't be Fury. Okay.
I mean, if he's the mandatory for the BC and he actually wins it, then that would set up an undisputed fight if Usyk, if they can get the Usyk fight going. But we'll see about that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that he'll fight Usyk. I think that that's gonna be a fight that never get made because I just couldn't see Wilder going that route at all. Even if it's for undisputed, I just don't see it.
And
I could be wrong.
And Usyk will have to fight Fury, which is a fight I don't think happens either. I think Fury has just too much going on. I think Fury ends up dropping that belt before he fights Usyk. Me personally. And maybe get it happen, but I just feel like the politics in boxing, and I hate talking about the politics so much because you sound like a conspiracy theorist. But I just feel like the way Wilder mindset is and the type of person he is, they wouldn't want him to go out on top as undisputed because that would negate everything that happened with him and Fury. And I think they want that to stick on his career, him losing to Fury like that. So I don't think they want that happy book, that fairy tale ending for Wilder.
Yeah, because that's a fairy tale ending to retire as the undisputed heavyweight champion. That'll definitely.
It just depends on how Usyk plays it. I think he's one of those throwback fighters where he'll detriment himself in terms of things that might go for him, like his purse or his purse split or some of the things that he can get guarantees from a side. I think he doesn't really care about that. He just strikes.
I agree.
He strikes him as that type of guy that will make, under any circumstance, he'll make that fight.
I got Joe Joyce beating Usyk though. I got Joe Joyce stopping Usyk, and I know that he's slow, right?
Juggernaut.
But hear me out. I got the juggernaut, and hear me out on this. In the heavyweight division, that's the one division where you don't have to worry about because I've seen Usyk in every heavyweight fight he had get tired. He be tired in every heavyweight. As a matter of fact, when he fought the first guy, was that Chisora? He almost lost that fight. That was a close drag. He had a closer fight in that fight than he did in both of the AJ fights.
Was it Chisora or was it Washington? Was it Gerald?
Yeah, he didn't fight Gerald Washington.
He didn't fight
It was
Gerald?
Chisora.
Yeah,
it was Chisora. He had a tough fight.
He sparred. You said that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So that lets me know that styles make fights because he had a tougher fight with a guy that can't fight dead than he did with AJ, who's a halfway fighter. You know what I'm saying, as far as skill wise and stuff. It just,
But do you think in a fight with Joe Joyce and a fight like that, I can see that fight playing out as Usyk doing just enough in the first few rounds and things like that to whereas, and if he can stay on his feet, he's gonna get it on the card.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's gonna end that fight on his feet. I think he's gonna get clipped. I really do, because there were times in the AJ fight where I thought AJ could get the stoppage. And Joe Joyce is slow, but he reminds me, and listen now, I said he reminds me of a George Foreman type of puncher. Not George Foreman, okay? But the slow thudding shots. And he's a good body puncher for a heavyweight, and he can punch. So, but we'll see. Because
I want to see the Parker fight before I make that.
yes, I think he stops Parker. But if he go the distance with Parker, I may change my mind.
So,
I ain't gonna lie.
so speaking on that, and I'm gonna go back to Wilder. How
Mhm.
much good of a chance do y'all think? Do y'all think Wilder washed Helenius?
No, because Helenius is a very good fighter.
Wash.
He's okay.
And I haven't broke down how I think that fight goes, but I think he should try and wash him. I think that he should try because I have seen Helenius knocked out early in fights. And I think that Wilder, if he can line it, but you know, it's a tricky fight too.
Yeah.
It's a tricky fight because Helenius is gonna come into that fight confident.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
I definitely think Wilder knocks him out in the later rounds, but I think Helenius is going to give him a bit of a problem only for the simple fact that he knows him. When you get in there and spar with a guy so many times as they've done, you start learning the guy. You start learning his idiosyncrasies, what he doesn't do, what he does do, what he leans on. So I think he knows him enough to hang around, but I do think that Wilder gets that stoppage. I don't think he washes him, though.
And that's another thing too with Wilder, because you know what I'm saying, weight-wise, he's considered one of the, because Wilder is smaller than Ruiz, right?
Way smaller.
Way smaller.
So when you think about it, do you think Helenius now take a little bit from that Fury fight and say, you know what, if I can
lean on him,
lean on him, I can keep that 1-2 off me? Like I said, I'm very interested to see Wilder in these next 3 fights. I'm really interested.
I don't think he don't got that Fury chin though. That's the only thing.
Well, we know that Fury chin is definitely better. Helenius is a guy that mixes it up real well. He got a good jab. He got a good right hand. He got a good uppercut, but he's always in the line of fire. And I think that's going to hurt him in the Wilder fight is that I have seen Helenius fight with 2 things. I've seen him fight with his head up in the air. And the one style that I wouldn't have no problem with Deontay doing, but Deontay has never shown me this style of fighting is the bullying. You can bully Helenius. You can bully him.
But you know what though, and a lot of folks, like I say, please y'all understand, I'm not a Wilder hater. Because like I say, when I first met everybody online, I told people I had Fury winning the fight, and the black people threw me out of the black community. But Wilder is a very built, athletic type of person. But I don't think Wilder, as strong as he is, you would think he could bully him. But I don't think Wilder is a bully type of fighter. I really don't.
Facts.
I think if Wilder gets in there and try to bully fighters, he's gonna end up on his tail because, like I say, he's like you say, he got that strong punch now, but I don't know if he's stronger than Helenius. Just pure strength.
Right.
Wilder's not the type of person.
Yeah, that's not his style of fighting.
Yeah,
bully a guy.
And hey, let me say this, bro. You could get up here, Junebug, and make any prediction. They all good up here.
Yeah, I mean,
you pick somebody to win, that's just what it is. You pick them to win.
Right.
You ain't gonna be exiled from the LAs for a fight, decision or something.
It was funny because, like I say, it was like, how dare you say that? Don't you know he's a cheat, right? And I was like, okay, I understand all that, but which fight did he cheat? Because I saw, like I say, at that time, I saw him lose 2 fights. So did he cheat the first fight? And if he cheat the first fight, okay, well, and then the second fight was fair. Why did the second fight look similar to the? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to stay out of the cheating thing. But Wilder is not a boxer that I honestly see. To me personally, I'm not gonna say he's underwhelming me as a boxer, but even like that clip we seen on Twitter, I think it was about a week ago, he was boxing, and I made a comment.
Left hooks.
And I say to me, he's still leaving himself open. His mechanics, he has a strong right too, but at his weight and things like that, I would think he would be better of an outside puncher, a boxer puncher, than what he is to me. And for him to be that weight, he's also another guy that to me looks tired and things like that too in rounds and things like that.
Glad you touched on that.
Go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead, jump on it. Go ahead.
Want to know why that is? Because he doesn't do road work.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the biggest problem that I have with Deontay. As much as I love him, as you got to be able to do your road work. That's one of the most important parts of being a boxer. So I mean, that's why his conditioning isn't there. You go in there and hit pads, that's great and everything, but you got to go out there and hit the mileage too. So it kind of shocked me when he said he doesn't do road work, but he had been getting by with his pure athleticism and punching power.
Right?
He didn't have to. But when he ran into somebody who's going to lean on you and test your conditioning, because as big as Fury is, he's extremely conditioned. So he ran into that guy and not being able to do road work or not committing to it was his undoing. So if he changes that,
well, let me say this, guys, and you're 100% right, man. You got to do road work in every sport. I don't care what you play. Like Junebug, you be out there with your sons every day. I'm pretty sure that you make them run laps. They run laps. They run up and down that court without a basketball in their hand, just running. And it ain't just swimming. Swimming is good because it touch different parts of your body and work out different parts, but you need that road work. You need that road work. You need that cardio right there. You need that running, because when you're in the ring, it's a whole different ball game. And listen, you don't have to get a strength and conditioning coach to say, hey, Junebug, time me. I'm going to go out there and run 4 miles. Like, I be seeing them guys out there, and Lord knows y'all going to start laughing when I say this. They be having them boxers out there doing football drills. I've even seen boxers out there throwing football. And I'm about to tell y'all something, man. That's a scam, man. No. If you got football players, you got boxers out there running cones and doing up downs, man, you just stealing money, man.
Yeah, the Nike Spark parachutes.
And Julie, it's so funny you said that, because I had a partner, right? And we got into a deep conversation because he started to be like, man, you got to be one of my favorite fighters, right? I'm just going to go ahead and say, I want to, Errol Spence, right? I was talking about Errol Spence, old strength and conditioning, supposed strength and conditioning coach. And everybody was, and my partner was like, man, that ain't cool. And I was like, you look into it, right? One thing we know about Errol Spence, Derrick James, and Errol Spence's father, they are very smart. And I listen to interviews, and I like to say, you got 2 ears and you got 1 mouth. So you're supposed to listen as much as you more than you talk. And I listened to both of them talk, and I listened to him. And you can tell that it got to a certain point to whereas in Errol Spence and his father felt like, where I need to go now, you're not benefiting. You know what I'm saying? You're not, I love you, I care about you, I appreciate the journey. But where I'm at now in this career, that's right there is not helping me. It's almost overrated. And I had to break my partner down. And I said, you look at this, right?
You talking about Blu-ray, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say, you think about it, my bud. Besides Earl, who else does he has to where he can put his stamp on and say, this is what I do for boxers? It can almost be the same thing. You can look at it as a trainer now, but you can't say that about Derrick James, because if you remove Derrick James, you can say, Earl Spence, you can say Charlo. You know what I'm saying? But when that
Frank
situation
Martin,
there,
right?
Exactly. But with that situation there, you can almost say he got notoriety from the time that Earl worked with him. You see what I'm saying? Not the other way around. And look how good you look at him now. Earl, was without him, but his last 2 or 3 fights, regardless of how you say if he stopped anybody or not, he still won the fights. And look at what he just did with Ugas. So back to piggyback off what you said, I was telling my partner, man, I think it got to be a point to where Earl and them realized that the journey that I'm finna go on from here on out, what he's doing with me is not benefiting me, that strength and conditioning stuff. Because you think about it, and I saw his workout because I support all blacks, but his stuff is very basic. It's kind of like macho-ness and stuff like that, and it's the stuff that he's doing. Like you say, it's a scam. I can literally I can grab a kid right now and start making him. And today we doing 700 push-ups and we doing 800 curls, and I can call myself your strength and conditioning coach. And me and my partner had a deep debate about that, because I was telling him, man, I don't think he's that good. I really don't. And he was like, man, but still Earl was knocking people out. I said, well, you look at the competition level, look how younger Earl was, man. that could have been a fact that that just was Earl prime. That couldn't have had nothing to do with that because Earl has still been rolling. Now.
And he got the knockout in the Ugas fight late in the fight too. And let me say something, man. And I don't want to ever, and I'm not gonna take no money out of no black man mouth.
There you go.
In pocket. But I will say this: if I go out there next week and I get a 6-pack, now Ronnie, you tell me if this is true or not. And this is what happens with boxers and other athletes, more so with boxers and things like that, because of course other sports are corporate, so they're gonna have they're gonna get guys that went to USC or this school or that school to be a strength and conditioning coach and stuff like that, or this guy was a track coach here and there. And don't get me wrong, I like that, but at the same time, it don't take all that either sometimes. But if I go out there and get a 6-pack next week, I can go and get people that's in my size or 6 or 7 others that are heavy or fat people like myself, and we can go out there, work out. I can work them out, and they see my 6-pack and believe that I can get them looking like me. And I can put out some cones and the elastic, you know what I'm saying? Have them running here and doing windmills and throwing footballs and
put up too many clips. Put up too many clips of it. And
absolutely
getting you grind. And I agree with everything you saying. Don't want to take no money out of no black man's mouth.
Yeah.
But I just had to keep it 100.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. What you think about that, Ronnie?
I definitely agree. In terms of like Blu-ray and Earl Spence and the 11, I think he was 11-0 with 11 knockouts. That was more so the competition, in my opinion. Didn't have too much to do with Blu-ray because some of the things he doesn't have any bearing in terms of boxing ability, in my opinion.
And actually, I don't know what he do. I never really seen the brother workout meets. I mean, I
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really machismo, a lot of that stuff.
Okay, like prison workouts.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's I didn't want to shit
on the yard.
Rain. Yeah, I didn't want to rain on this parade because, like I said, I'm support all black folks. But like he just said, Cheesemo. I saw a lot of the workouts. I actually had conversations with him. So, like I say, that's why I just had to keep it real on it and stuff like that. Like you said, I believe it had a lot to do with the talent level and everything and where Earl was in his career now. Like you say, there's nothing wrong with strength and conditioning, but once you hit 30, you still young, but you're not 27. So sometimes, because I saw one interview where his dad came and mentioned to Blu-ray about I think what they was going to get ready to try to do. They was going to get ready to try to do a certain amount of push-ups or something, and Earl dad was like, "Not today." Like say, his muscles won't allow him to do it today, and that was telling to me. And this came out of Blu-ray mouth. That was telling to me of where they was, and like I say, that was around the time where people was trying to say, "Is he coming back or not coming back?" And that was so telling to me.
You talking about Blu-ray?
Mm-hmm. Sweating one line of black man. I'm gonna keep it for real now. And that was so telling to me. So
a lot of it is what are you training for? Are you training for functional athleticism to go in the NFL combine, or are you training to fight? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. His workouts are more so NFL combine, creating this functional athlete to play football or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's more so for that's more suited for their expertise. Fighting, you really don't need all that. First of all, it's very overrated because, as I said on the previous panel, I think last week, weightlifting and fighting don't go hand in hand. A lot of fighters don't even lift weights. You know what I'm saying? You're not.
A lot of trainers tell you don't even lift weights.
You're really not supposed to when you fight. You lift weights. So I mean, you normally lift your own body weight, but like heavy weights and stuff like that, kettlebells, all that, you don't need all that. You really just need you want to be as sleek and thin as possible, or just tone. Ain't nothing wrong with just running up a few bleachers like the old school fighters used to do. You know what I'm saying? And those were the best in shape fighters. all this nutritionists, dietitians, and all that is strictly overrated in my opinion.
Now, I'd rather have like I say. Now, I do think, like I say, now I don't mean to, I'm not trying to rebuttal you, but if you talk about benefits, I do think a dietitian is better than a strength and conditioning coach.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of what's better and what's not, absolutely, nutritionists will serve you better than an actual physical trainer. But a lot of these guys have been, they've been fighting for years. They know what to eat. It's not really all that hard. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you can't. You have to cut out carbs in general in your diet or anything like that. But just limit it. You know what I'm saying? And they know this. They know how. Some of these guys know their own body.
Yeah, so, I also think that every fighter, if they don't have a nutritionist as a part of their camp, I think that they need a nutritionist to set their meals before training camp. Because, hey, look, every sport, every athlete that can afford one has a nutritionist or someone that prepare their meals. And I think boxers need a nutritionist because I'm gonna tell you why. Your body is different from 22 than it is at 30.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys, there's a difference between a nutritionist and a personal chef. Because a lot of these guys, they have their personal chefs who cook them meals that focus on less carbs and more protein.
Right, which is important because if a fighter got me in their camp, I'm gonna fix with a lot of butter, grease,
sea salt,
all that, season salt, everything. So it's gonna be good, but they're gonna gain weight.
Hey, brother, Julie finna put that salt meat in them greens.
All the greens, Put the ham bone in there.
Hey, I'm gonna put a ham honk in there. Hey, I'm coming with it.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
When Julie get through with him, soon that first bell say ding ding, when he gonna walk in that corner, just fall out like a rock. Apollo Creed.
Serving them Dr. Pepper in the corner.
I'm a Mountain Dew guy, so
hey man, ain't nothing wrong with good old Southern meal.
So hey, look, man, I be seeing them guys have regular folks in there cooking, and I be laughing. Like,
Angel Mama.
Like, look, like Deontay Wilder is my man for a lot of reasons. One of them, because he had his aunt and them in there cooking. They had everything in there, man. They had barbecue, they had pork chops, macaroni and cheese, and all type of stuff. I was like, God, no, man.
You ain't lying. Liver, chicken,
all that.
Liver, kidneys. I'm like, man, if they sitting down for a Sunday meal or he get ready to fight, like, what in the world? Like, so, and that's me. I'm right with him.
Damn, Big Mama must be coming over. How they?
The man had Big Mama as his cook for his training camp. And when he lost, folks talking about Tyson Fury cheated. Man, he had Big Mama as his chef. He was full of lard. He was full of lard and butter, man. Come on,
I feel bad because he was so lost. He said, "No, it was my suit heavy. No, that was
sweating. He was sweating out. That's why."
Man, Deontay, my man, he the realest fighter ever. Man, the man got his grandmama and them cooking, and the food looked good. Yeah. Like it wasn't no egg whites, and I mean, the man had collards cooked precise. It was cut up, chopped up with a ham hock in it. Yeah. I mean, it looked good, man.
She had
looked beautiful, man. I knew that was an Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, North Carolina meal, man. That was something, man. Deontay Wilder, my man. Yeah. Midwest up here laughing.
Yeah, he mine too. That's the thing about it. Like I said, I don't want nobody. don't want nobody to confuse saying it, because like I said, I support that
Right.
man for being a black man, what he did for his family, his daughter, man. Let me tell you something.
Absolutely, man.
I really ride for that man. So like I said, the jokes and stuff are coming, but please,
Yeah, they
but
just
please
joke,
believe,
man.
please believe he got a real fan of me. I really, like I say, him, Earl, and stuff like that. Those two brothers that I just really, really rock with, because they could be fake, but the way they carry themselves, I can't say they fake. You know what I'm saying? That makes me root for them, the way they carry themselves, because
No doubt.
they always supporting other black fighters. Even
Always.
when somebody try to trip them up and start mess, they shut it down fast, man. Like I say, so I really rock with
Right.
them
They ain't gonna play that game with you. That get along game with you. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also I want to let y'all guys know I'm also gonna do a show tomorrow night too, because we're gonna end up going about 2 hours now, and Steph and them couldn't get in earlier, so I'm gonna definitely do it for them, so we'll be able to talk tomorrow too. But yeah,
because I think I like I said, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think a good topic, man. Like I said, and I want to give some shout out to the ladies, man, because we got this Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields fight.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to talk about that this week.
And I tell you what, like I said, a lot of people gonna say, but man, like let's put it like this, on the black party, man. I think we're gonna go 1-1 that night. I think we're gonna.
I think we are too. I think we are too, because I done picked one of those girls to win. I picked the FBA and a non-FBA to win. So there you go. But look, Midwest said AJ did the same for the first Usyk fight. He said the ML was out eating chocolate cake and doing blind food tasting. Well, hey, look, man. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you. I'll give you an example. Chop Corley was getting ready to fight Floyd Mayweather, right? And Don Turner, the trainer, he used to prepare meals too. You know what I'm saying? Now, he didn't do it. Huh?
The Victoria's Secret model, Chop Corley?
Yes, sir. The Victoria's Secret. He said it feels comfortable on him. He loved it. Hey, look, man. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I said that man was wearing bloomers, but you know what I'm saying? He said, no, they're not bloomers. They're panties. But anyway, so look, Don Turner, man, cooked the man a pot roast, man, and it was delicious, man. But it's just, I just want a chef and a nutritionist if possible, or if the chef can do both, like Chris Algieri, he would be good to get in people camps, man. Because look, if you leave it to folks like me, man, we're gonna have a fighter coming in there, like I said,
yeah.
Or that dude that just like the nutrition Earl just hired, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dude from Australia, right?
Yeah, because man, Earl looking smaller than Ugas, man. But when they got in that ring, man,
strong.
I think that's what shocked a lot of people. I think that's the reason why they was looking like, not, oh snap, man, this dude different. Like this Shag Earl here. You know what I'm saying? Because man, that boy looking good, man.
Well,
he strong.
I give fighters leeway in terms of the nutritionist thing if they've given me no reason to actually question whether they're gonna be in shape or not. Like AJ and Deontay, are gonna come in on tip-top shape. They're gonna look like they're in shape. Now, somebody like Andy Ruiz or Tank Davis or something like that, they don't get no leeway with me. They need a nutritionist, but it just depends on the fighter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Tank ain't disciplined. Tank ain't about discipline. He can get a nutrition. That'll be wasted money for him. He probably still go out there and do something, like I say, no, for real. That's a guy like Tank, that's gonna be wasted money.
Dominic Ingle. Shout out to Dominic Ingle, Prince Nassim Hamed. And I remember his son, Paul Ingle. Now, I would trust Dominic Ingle as nutritionist more than a trainer, because he used to get his son almost killed. And yeah, he also Junior Witter. Dominic Ingle, he had a good style, great nutritionist, and a decent trainer. But yeah, go ahead, man.
So, but like I say, like tomorrow, I think like I said, good topic. Like I say, man, a lot of people gonna be shocked, man. Like I said, I think we're gonna go 1-1 this weekend, man.
I think
And like
we
I
is
said,
too.
I love to go 2-0, man, but I think Eddie Hearn been flirting with one of our fighters a little bit too much to kind of pump their head up, man. I think, Clarissa, she definitely coming. I save a lot for tomorrow, but Clarissa looked like, hey,
Yes.
I've been wanting this when the other been looking like, hey, I'm a bad.
Look, shout out to Art Man because Art
Yeah.
Man Apparel. Art Man was up here. He had on. She had on one of his shirts. Doing the
Walking the dog, was it?
walking the dog. Yeah. Definitely, man. So shout out to Art Man Apparel because trust me, man. I'm gonna give people credit when it's due. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just
Yeah.
top of the line trolling right there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a good fight to break down.
It's her fight.
and
It's her fight to lose, man. I'm still going with the bomb.
I hear you.
Hey,
hear you.
and like I said before, I go, man, like I said, I see a lot of people like disappointed.
Go ahead. You went out.
PBC call. Hello.
What you say now? Yeah, your phone going in and out.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking, I was saying, yeah, man. A lot of people kind of a little upset, man, because they thought we was gonna get a big announcement last night, man, during that PBC card, man. And a lot of folks was like, "What happened?" So,
well, just the thing that I would ask them: when is Fox gonna come out with a Showtime card? Well, think about that. Announcement on a Fox show.
Well, no, I agree 110% with you. You're absolutely right. But a lot of people don't have the knowledge and don't understand that even though there's PBC, two different networks, a lot of people just thinking that, that PBC could announce that. They don't realize that it's you know what I'm saying, it's different, you know what I'm saying? Because Fox ain't finna begin the promotion for another company. That's the same thing I told a person when Earl didn't get left after the Sean Porter fight, Terrence Crawford. I said he'll have to be a fool to get in the ring and start promoting that fight at a top rank event, and Top Rank wouldn't allow that to happen either, knowing that Bud may be off. You ain't finna start promoting this on our last card with you and go and run off with the plug. No, sir.
Because that's what's gonna happen. People gonna get hyped. The fight gonna generate this, and you gonna get butted out of it. Yeah,
exactly. But man, like I said,
my man Art Man want to come on. Hold on a second.
Well, man, like I said, let him come on and chop it up, man. It's about time me to put the kids to bed, man, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.
Hey, brother, yeah, definitely come on tomorrow, sir. Man. And come back and let's chop it up some more, brother, and talk about that fight that's coming up this weekend. And you can definitely give me your opinion, which I already know me and you kind of thinking along the same lines on this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you. And like I said, I get more in depth and break it down. But man, like I said, I catch y'all later, man.
All right, take care, brother.
All right,
appreciate you coming on too, man.
No problem.
All right. Yeah, Ronnie. It's me and you, good brother. And Art Man gonna probably be joining us here, man. But yeah, man, I'm sitting up here looking last night and I'm thinking to myself, why is Ortiz not going to the body, man? And it was just crazy, man. It was crazy because I know that his age showed. His age showed last night, man.
Yeah.
Because like you say, he outboxed him. But I think Sakura was saying every time that they mixed it up, the good brother got knocked down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which would end up being 3 times. He still lost a close decision.
Yeah.
After being floored 3 times. So that lets you know everything right there.
He just better on the outside. When he started making the Andy Ruiz inside fight, that's when he runs into his trouble. Because Andy loves those exchanges with those short arms. So he caught a taste of that power. A lot of that I think is he's still suffering from phantom punches from Deontay. So
Yeah,
once
definitely.
you get clipped once,
Yeah.
you're never the same. So
Never the same.
Yeah.
Especially when you got clipped twice.
yeah,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
second one was brutal. So
Yes, it was.
I mean,
Yes, it was.
I believe honestly he's 52 years old.
I do too.
So
I think he's around that age too. And then you got to understand, man, when somebody hit you and boogers and snot fly across your face,
yeah,
you know, you hurt.
Yeah,
you pretty rough right there, man.
He was landing some
clear
good
your
leather
sinuses,
too.
huh?
Yeah, he was landing some good leather too. It's just,
oh yeah, he was rocking Ruiz head.
It was just Ruiz. Ruiz got that dog in him. It's hard to get him out of there. So
definitely,
I mean, it's just another one of those fighters that's just 10 years too late. You know what I'm saying? I believe if they would have fought 5 years ago, that this wouldn't even been a contest. But that's just how it is, man.
Art man, how you doing, sir? Art man,
he on mute.
He on mute. Unmute yourself, Art.
Yeah,
Art man, how you doing, sir?
Give me 1 second.
Okay, all right. But yeah, so yeah, definitely. Ruiz is a tough fighter, man.
Yeah.
And
he's just one of those fighters. When the fatter he gets, the better he is. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Some guys fight better at what we perceive as a
hindrance weight
disadvantage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Right. Okay, what's going on, brother? It's funny that you came on because I was just shouting out your Art Man apparel because of we had talked Chesses for a second, not long, in regards to the Bumgarner, and I said let's go on and shout out Art Man and Art Man apparel because you got some airplay because she had your shirt on and it looked nice, man. That's one of your better works right there, man.
Yeah, she actually bought that design from me. She came to me with the idea. You know, I'm an art man. You know, I'm a digital illustrator first before I'm a boxing fan. So I gave her exactly what she asked for, man. And I just love seeing it today. It just lets you know that the stuff that you do, you may think it's minor at first, but it can go far, man, if you really put your mind and effort and time into it.
Never despise small beginnings. That's ancient scripture.
I keep on getting memories on my phone. You know, they'll show you stuff that you did, 3 years ago, and I'll see images of me drawing boxers on paper at the crib, just sketching. So to see myself go from, just sketching on paper to seeing, professional champions in the biggest fights in women history, wearing my art, it inspires me to keep on going.
That's it, brother. And any platform that I got, I'm gonna always promote black business, black entrepreneurs, black excellence, whatever, man. Anything that's black, you know what I'm saying, with my brothers and sisters, man. So I like that.
Exactly.
I like that. I saw it right away, man.
Despite all the hate,
that out.
Still doing my thing.
Yeah, definitely, man. But look, we was talking in regards to, you missed it. We was talking earlier about Deontay Wilder, man, about the training camp when we saw that meal that somebody in his family cooked, man. We had fun with that.
I ain't see it. Where is this at?
This was getting ready for the Fury fight. This is past tense. But look, you right in time for us to talk about Deontay Wilder coming in the ring and and saying that he wouldn't mind the Andy Ruiz fight. What you think about that? About Wilder jumping in the ring and about Wilder,
Man, when Wilder
fighting
got in that ring, I'm like, yo, this is a big guy. He's a big guy. Isn't he taller than Ortiz?
Yeah, he's 6'6", 6'7".
So Ortiz was already towering over Ruiz. So man, dude, you have Wilder against Ruiz. with that reach advantage and that power and that athleticism and speed, and Ruiz lack of defense, man, I'm sorry, man. I feel like it's gonna be a sad day in California or Mexico, whatever he wants to claim that night. He fight Wilder. Seriously.
Said California or Mexico. Ronnie,
Yeah.
what did you think when he ran in the ring, man?
Well, I was happy to see the young king, get back in his domain. So that was, very telling for me. Yeah, Deontay is about 6'7", so I mean I know the height difference as it is. I think Ruiz is like what 6'1", 6'2".
Right, if that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if that. And he doesn't fight tall. I mean, 6'2" isn't really tall in terms of heavyweight, but I just, as I said earlier, I believe Deontay Wilder beats all the other heavyweights outside of Fury, but I just don't. It's a mismatch to me because
I say Wilder already beat Fury, but unofficially, because I think of it like this: what other fighter is going to have the luxury of getting those long ass counts?
Oh, Buster Douglas got a long count.
I'm talking about the active fighters today.
Well, shoot, that dude with last night with Ryo, man, that referee was terrible. He was giving Ryo all kind of chances. Did y'all see that?
I mean, yeah, that was. I mean, he did it until he ended up stopping the fight on him.
But let's be real.
Like, this is too much.
Look at Wilder Fury 1, right? Mm-hmm. The way that man went down, we all know. We all know. We could say, well, this guy, nah. We all know the ref. Any other ref, anybody else, they would have waved that shit off. Even in the third fight, yeah, guys like Hall of Famer Andre Ward said, man, that's extremely long count. Extremely long. So it's like, yeah, you think Ruiz gonna get that same benefit?
No, I don't. Well, first of all, if Ruiz get hit with that shot, he got a good chin, but I don't see him getting up from that. No. It won't even be a matter of a long count.
He doesn't move the agenda for them to give him that kind of chance.
Yeah,
you know what I think it'll be like? I feel like it'll be like a Bermain versus Wilder 2 type of knockout. Not saying necessarily the first round, but I'm saying that Ruiz gonna try to cover up and guard up, and I feel like Wilder just gonna punch right through that thing, man. It's gonna be bad.
I think that Ruiz would try to trade a little bit because the even last night Ortiz got his best shots in when Ruiz was letting his hands go and he was punching with him. And I think that's the one thing that I like that Wilder does that's underrated about him, because people talk about his skill level isn't high, but he does have boxing IQ because Deontay knows how to punch with guys. And that would be the key in the Ruiz fight, because Ruiz can box. But
you know what sold me last night? My bad for cutting you off, but you know what sold me? Okay. At first, I was looking at Wilder versus Ortiz. I mean, Wilder as Ruiz as a 70-30 fight. But now I'm looking at it as a 90-10. You know why? Mm-hmm. The reason why is because what I seen in that second round is when, Ruiz got off on Ortiz. But when Ortiz cracked him with that hook, he said he respected that power. He respected that power, and he got on his bike, and the fans was booing because they wasn't trading as much. Right. There's only a couple rounds that really had that spark in it, that little battle. But other than that, they was just pacing around the ring because he respected that man power. If he didn't respect that man power, he'd have walked up on him and knocked him out, just like how he did that little Russian dude he fought before he fought Joshua.
And also, let me say this, guys. We're going to jump to tennis just for 1 second. I'm going to make a comment. Shout out to Francis Tiafoe, the young brother from Maryland that made it to the quarterfinals today at the U.S. Open, beat the number one guy, Rafael Nadal. Shout out to Francis Tiafoe from Silver Springs, Maryland. Shout out to that black brother. All right, now going back. Let's get back to it. Yeah, salute him. So yeah, and look, Art, man. Speaking of that, I know you probably won't be on tomorrow night when I come on. I want to hear your thoughts now on Alicia Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer. What you think about that fight, man? Because you got a little place in that fight because of your artwork being on Alicia. So what you think of the fight in itself?
Give me 1 second to answer that. 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Me and Ronnie will talk. So yeah, Ronnie, because I know you're gonna be here tomorrow night, so you can jump on that question tomorrow. But it's almost here. It's almost here, man.
I can't think of a card that I've been more excited to see the last 5 years than this card. I am so excited. I'm glad they dropped the interviews today. Well, they dropped them yesterday. No, they dropped them today, didn't they? Mm-hmm. I think they dropped them today because I saw it today. Yeah. They picked a good time to drop the interviews, man. It's been so much shit talking. I can't wait for this fight.
Them girls been going at it.
Yeah,
them women rather been going at it. They've been going hard, and I like the fact that they're not politically correct, PC. They like give it to. And listen, we're gonna have to talk about that one day. How the males will get up there and they want to be so respectful. If you want to be disrespectful, be disrespectful.
Please,
you're gonna go out there and fight. This ain't no
how
golf match. Come on now.
Look,
you know my fighters. You know how I like my fighters extra disrespectful, man.
No doubt.
I ain't got time.
I
ain't got time for this.
You see, Julius, how I said that on Twitter, and people get mad at me when I say that. When I be like, man, I'm tired of this friendly ass shit in boxing, man. Y'all need to start shaking hands, man. Fuck all that shit. And all the UK dudes say, oh, Art, man, you gotta have class. This is sportsmanship. Man, fuck all that
shit. Take your ass to church.
Right. And
we're not drinking tea and kumbaya. Like, I want to see more James Toney. And listen, I don't think that every fighter has to be the James Toney type, okay? Because James Toney, there was no nice people. I don't care how nice of a fighter you was. He got in your face and he tried to intimidate. Mike Tyson didn't play that nice stuff. Like, somebody got to be that type.
Yeah, you want to know the last press conference that I really liked? Brian Castano versus Charlo.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Yeah,
I love that because
Charlo and Harris.
Charlo and Harris is probably the best one I've ever seen.
But I'm just saying the most recent one because those people, they was being so disrespectful to the American champion. They in America talking about some we don't want you here. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact how Charlo stood his ground. He told that man, he said, man, this is my country. This is my land that you on. You the guest here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to make sure you see it. And then Brian Castano tried to say, oh, no, it's not Argentina versus America. He said, then Charlo corrected him. He said, hell no, it is. It is.
Right.
What you talking about? It is.
Right. Yeah, Castano was trying to downplay that. And you got to understand, Samson Lekowitz had something to do with that too. His promoter, he was like, nah. We ain't about to get into an Argentina versus da. And I understand why those guys are trying to step in because Art, man, it's always that one that's gonna call somebody in. And look, so they don't want to be associated with that. Because then it's an all-out race fight at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Bring back Don King because he would say, bring back Don King because he would promote that type of shit.
That's just boxing in a whole though. Boxing's built
because we got
all of them will promote it. Yeah. Let's be honest, all of them will promote it.
Yeah, boxing is a cutthroat sport. And I understand that you're supposed to be respectful to, guys and all that. But I honestly feel like the respect should come after the bout, not before the bout.
Yes.
After the bout.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because if you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like these guys be so friendly and they go into the ring and they make silent agreements not to really rough each other up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you remember how nice he was to you. Fuck all that shit, man.
And let me say something.
Kill this man.
And let me say something. You can have bad blood and still try to make a silent agreement. Look at Caleb Plant.
Oh, yeah.
See, he knew. Now he can say.
But no, he folded in the last press conference. The final press conference.
Right. He conceded. after he got smacked. And listen, and that was a good press conference. The Anthony Durrell, Caleb Plant was a good press conference. That came on a couple weeks ago at the same time as Deontay Wilder and Robert Herlinas. It was a good one. And look, you're in a fight. You don't have to act like y'all are the best friends in the world. All you need to do is show up on fight night and fight. And if you want to be disrespectful in the lead up, as long as you ain't bringing, look, I've seen people bring folk wives and girlfriends into play, but now that's where I don't like. I don't like for you to bring somebody's family involved, because again, man, somebody can get hurt because a sporting event could turn into something else. And that's just the truth, man. But
you ain't like Mayorga touched Mosley's girl butt? You ain't like that?
Yeah, Mayorga, Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran spit on Sugar Ray Leonard's wife.
Yeah, that
his first wife. So, hey, man, I seen it get real disrespectful. I'm talking about beyond what you're talking about, Art, man. I'm talking about you spitting in people's wives' face.
Yeah.
Like you ready for war right then. You ready for
somebody
war.
told me, somebody told me they're talking about heavyweights. They're talking about heavyweights from the 80s and stuff. And they're talking about heavyweights and the heavyweights today and how cutthroat they were. And I said, you're right. Heavyweight from the 70s, if they would have found out a fighter had floppy gloves, he would have pulled up to the post conference with a pistol. Straight up.
Look, the times was different. Stuff like that definitely happened. And let me say this too, man. And let me say this. And a lot of times I know that I talk a lot about fighters of old and now. It's nothing about a fighter being better now and than he was then. It's all about the training, man, and the trainer.
Man, Ortiz was on the wrong side of 40 last night. Let's be real. Ortiz was on the wrong side of 40 last night.
Oh, definitely. If this was 3 years ago, Ortiz beats Andy Ruiz by 11th round stoppage or something like that, or at least by unanimous decision. The guys on the other side probably are 50. We don't even know, man. Let's be honest about that. But he still was highly competitive, even though he on the other side of almost 50 years old. But listen, guys, we're gonna stop right here. Be coming on again tomorrow night at 7:00, and we'll do the other 2 or 2.5 to 3 hours. Some guys that tried to get in tonight that couldn't be able to get in tomorrow night and come on up. Midwest, everybody that was in the chat, I appreciate it. Art, man, thank you, sir, for coming on. I'm gonna let you and Ronnie say your last words. Go ahead, Art, man. Say what you got to say. Anything. Man.
Yeah, shout out to you, brother Julius.
Yes, sir.
I'll probably be on tomorrow.
Okay.
And if y'all guys need some nice artwork or clothing, go to my website, artmanapparel.com, and follow me on Twitter, artmanthegreat. And that's it.
Go to artmanapparel.com. Artman Apparel. Yoga. Hey, how you doing? Hold on, let me answer this question here. I thought Ortiz scored way better than the judges gave him, a bit slower, but yeah. Hey, look, Yogi, let me say something. Ortiz, without the knockdowns, won that fight bar none. I thought that someone would get knocked out, but that's why it's good to put these fights on in the ring. Ortiz, I think his age showed in spots. But then again, Ruiz he fought in spurts as well. And like we was talking earlier, if you saw the weigh-in, Yogi, think about this. Ruiz was about 15 to 20 pounds heavier than he was at the weigh-in. He was not in good shape. He had dehydrated to weigh in, and then came back his natural weight. But yeah, go ahead, Ronnie. Say what you got to say, brother.
Oh yeah, I ain't got too much to say. Definitely, I'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll probably be in the chat because you know we want to give other people chances to you know speak their piece and everything. Always appreciate you having me on the panel. Just you know chop it up and talk some boxing with my you know fellow North Carolinian. So
of course, no doubt,
take over these boxing stuff. So you know
that's right, man.
so
You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Representing Greenville all day.
Yeah, so I would say my closing words would be, you know, everybody stay smooth, be safe out here. It's crazy out here. So cherish your loved ones.
Everybody stay safe, man.
Yeah, cherish your loved ones. Tell them you love them. What you should be doing anyway. But you know, just
definitely in this time of day. Yeah, man, because you never know, brother. You know, all of us have probably had somebody that we love pass in the last 12 months, last 24 months. And you're right, man. So you know, you never know how tomorrow or the next minute is gonna shake out. So definitely. And you know, thank everybody that was in the chat. I went 2 hours and 6 minutes tonight. I'm gonna come right back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock and do another show. Everybody is welcome, man. I'm gonna do another show tomorrow because it was like a couple people that couldn't get in, that tried to get in. You can get in tomorrow, but I appreciate it. Ronnie, thank you, man. All you do. Art, man, thanks Sakura for coming on. Boxing Playhouse, Cody, come on tomorrow night, Cody. Everybody that came in, Checkmate that came in. All right, y'all take care. All right, have a good night.
All right, take care.
All right.